Captain Greg here with Learn to Fish with Us. I've had many people ask me, what is your favorite slip bobber combination? So today we're going to give it to you. Let's start out by the rod. First of all, I really like to have a 7-foot medium fast action rod. What happens with the 7-foot rod is it allows me to place bobbers all around the boat, and they don't have to be really close. They can be way out there. With having a 7-foot rod, when I reel in the slack line because the bobber's down, and then I go to set that hook, that 7-foot rod allows me to have great leverage in having a great hook set. Next, let's talk about the reel. On the reel, I really like using braid. Here we got a 8-pound fire line and in a chartreuse color because it's so easy to then see it. Then we go to the slip bobber knot. Northland has some really good sturdy slip bobber knots, and trust me, you want to make sure you get a good slip bobber knot. This one is more of a, I guess, nylon based. Hey, and when I place a slip bobber on there, I like to keep the ends the original length of the knot. Some of them will make it smaller. This is longer, allows me to either trim it, or I like using it like this. Sometimes it could affect your cast. If it does, just trim it down. Next, we go to the slip bobber itself. We got the bead above it. Sometimes this bead can get clogged up, so you may have to just make sure it's clean. If that bead isn't sliding up and down really easy, you probably have a clogged bead. Next thing, I like using a 1-inch Northland slip bobber. What I like about Northland slip bobbers, you can see on the top there, it actually has a brass grommet. And what that does is it really allows the bobber to have a great slip action. If your bobber does stop slipping, most likely what's happening, you're getting weeds within here. So all you got to do is just get something like a, fine piece of wire that you can just go in and out and make sure you clean it out. Next thing is a swivel. I really like using ball bearing swivels, and I will always use a swivel. For one, it's nice because it stops the twist as your jig or spoon or hook goes up and down. It could be twisting even with the action of the bait. So having a swivel, it eliminates that. The other nice thing about having a swivel there is, let's say I need to replace my line down here. All I got to do is cut this, and then I still have my slip bobber knot and I have my bobber. Same thing goes if there's issues with the slip bobber knot or the slip bobber itself. I can cut it right here and I still have the bottom all taken care of. When I am slip bobbering, I'm usually very close to the bottom. So nice thing is too, by having a nice long lead, let's talk a little more about that. This is all fluorocarbon. I personally like 12-pound test. Because it's a fluorocarbon, fish can't see it. So you can usually upgrade your line poundage down here. Next thing, I always like to have a couple split shots here below whatever bait I'm using. Here, I'm using a spoon jig, and this is gold, really nice, especially if it's sunny out. It'll flutter and it'll shine and flash. But by having a heavier weight below here, it allows this slip bobber to sit really nice in the water, because I personally always want my slip bobbers to be straight up and down. And that's really my slip bobber combination. So if you have any questions, please message me or comment on the video and I'll get back to you.